2019-2020 Viking Voice podcast. My name is Zach, and I'm here with,
Nicole Papazian.
and I am a junior, and she is
I'm a senior.
and she failed her road test.
I did. I failed my road test.
So I am now a junior, and I'm getting ready for SATs and ACTs, and Nicole is preparing for college.
Yes, I am getting ready. Well, I've almost applied to all my colleges, which is great, but it's really good that we have a junior and a senior because I feel like these are two of the most stressful years of high school, so it'll be good for people to hear about our experiences throughout the school year and how we've been dealing with the stress and just balancing school with outside activities, sports, clubs, and all of that.
All right, so we want to discuss a lot of topics this year, and we really just want to know. We want you guys to comment down below on the YouTube and the Instagram at Viking Voice Podcast to let us know what we should talk about in the future and how we need more members to come so we can get this podcast really to keep going.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in joining the podcast, we meet on Mondays in J1, and every Thursday we record podcasts, so you could tell your friends if you know they're interested in it or if they would want to join. And our YouTube and Instagram is Viking Voice Podcast. So I'm sure if you're listening to this, you found our YouTube, but our Instagram is the same thing. So you guys should follow us on Instagram so you'll get notified when we're going to be posting new podcasts and what the topic or what we're going to be talking about in the podcast.
All right, well, first off, we'd like to thank the faculty and some of the prior members from last year's 2018-2019 podcast. We really want to thank those prior members for getting this podcast started and getting this club to start running. And we also want to thank the principal, Mr. Cousins, and the superintendent for really helping us start this club.
All right, so do you want to start introducing ourselves? What
Yeah,
we like,
okay.
what we like
So
to talk
obviously
about?
I'm Zach, you're Nicole.
Yep.
So I had one first question. We both like movies. You work in a movie theater.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, what's your favorite movie of all time?
My favorite movie of all time is The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Nobody
Right.
really knows that movie, but it is an amazing movie. Somebody recommended it to me last year, and I watched it on Netflix, and it is so amazing. I don't know. It's a little bit of a long movie, kind of confusing. It's kind of, you have to watch it again a second time, but I think it was directed brilliantly, and I absolutely love it. And you like sports. So, what's your favorite sport to watch and sports teams that you affiliate with?
Okay, my favorite sport to watch is American football. And obviously my favorite team is the New York Jets, and it's always sad watching them because we lose a lot and a lot of bad draft picks.
Wait, are the Giants? Is that football?
Yeah, Giants are football.
Okay, so you don't like them?
No, not particular.
Do you have a
My family's
specific
big
reason
Jets
why?
fans.
Or-
Any reasons why? My parents are Jets fans, so I decided I'm a lifelong Jets fan and Mets. So I root for a lot of losing teams. It's not fun.
What about baseball then? Yankees
Baseball,
or
the Mets. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I grew up with my parents liking the Yankees, so I've always been a Yankees person. I've
No,
never really
that's
liked
just
the
that's
Mets.
just not it. We don't like the Yankees here. That's really just not
Okay,
it.
but really, who's better? The Yankees.
I can't answer that question.
I don't know. Okay, the Mets I feel like are more popular. You hear more people talking about
They're
the Mets.
definitely not more
More
popular.
people
The
are
Yankees
wearing-
are way more popular.
Okay, but in school, like I've never seen somebody with the Yankees, but everybody's wearing Mets clothes and like repping the Mets teams and players, and I'm like,
Yeah, I feel like here at North Shore it's more Mets bias, but it's probably like a 60-40 split or 55-45. The Yankees are just always so good that people just like shrug it off. And the Yankees and the Mets aren't, so when the Mets start doing good, like they started to play well this year, people really wanted to rep their team and
oh
hope
yeah,
that they
like
make the
people who are
playoffs.
like fake fans who like only rep the team because like it's a good, they play good, so they're like, oh okay, that's my favorite team now. I used
Yeah.
to do that.
Speaking of sports, when we're recording this, the football season for our high school has pretty much just started. They're on to their first or second game, and they ruined a homecoming for whoever they played against. I don't remember who it was, and they have a big rivalry game coming up against Glen Cove.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know about
You had
this.
no
See,
clue?
I'm not really in tune with
So
the
I'm pretty
homecoming.
sure I'm gonna be going. The cheerleaders wanted us all to wear black. It's supposed to be blackout in Glen Cove, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to watching more of the football games this year.
I never went to one of the football games.
You've never been to one of the football games? You've been here 2 years?
Never. I went to one football game in my
What,
old
you went to
school.
homecoming, probably.
No, I've never.
You've
No,
never went
I
to a
went to one
homecoming
football
game?
game. I've never been to a homecoming game. I don't
Oh
know what
my
it is, but like I
god.
don't know. I need someone like I don't understand what it's all about. Like I get that like it's such a big thing. Like everybody is so oh my god homecoming and our school puts up like banners and stuff. I have no idea what it's about at all or like why it's such a big deal.
Homecoming is just a tradition.
But why is it a big
Nobody
deal?
knows why it's
Okay,
a
but
big
is it like
deal.
a
It just
special game?
is. It's like one of those things. Nobody knows why it's
Okay, but
a
there's no like
tradition, but it
homecoming
is.
dance. Like,
Yeah, we don't even have a dance.
is there a queen in?
There's a king and a queen, but it's like
Oh,
really like doesn't make sense. It's like totally pushed off queen and king. It's really all just about the football game.
have we ever won though?
We have, but recently it's just we haven't been winning our homecoming games.
They've been
It's not fun.
disappointing
How are
us.
your senior portraits? Speaking of homecoming, since everything's coming up.
Oh, okay. Senior portraits, they were pretty good. I feel like everyone was really scared about not looking good, and of course, I went to bed and I woke up with like 3 pimples on my face for
Oh
the
my,
day of senior portraits. So that was annoying.
that
But
must be awful.
yes, they went fine. They let me take like 20 pictures with like my head in all these different directions. And but it was kind of stressful, but everybody did look really nice, so I was kind of worried because like when parents look back on their yearbooks and show their kids what they look like, they're going to see me. Like that's how people are going to remember me and it'll be interesting to see. But I did notice that most of the girls wore black shirts with pearl necklaces. That was a common thing. I was going to wear a pearl necklace, but then I was like, ooh, everyone in the yearbook is going to look the same. And I also have to start picking my senior quote, which is like I don't know what I'm
I already
going to
have a
pick.
couple quotes in mind.
Really?
Definitely, all my friends have been talking about. We wanted to either do The Office, Parks and Rec, or I want to personally do a Thanos quote.
Really? A lot
Yeah.
of people are doing The Office. I've seen a lot of people do that. And
The
like
the one that everybody always does is the one from Andy in the last episode. Uh, I wish you would know that you're in the good old days before. Like they tell you
oh
you're in the
yes,
good old days
I've
before
seen
you're
that
out of the
before.
good old
And there's
days.
another one where it's like I'm not superstitious, just a little
Just
stitious.
a little
Like
stitches.
I don't get that, but
I've seen one where like you're not allowed to say like, "Oh, I wish I burned this place down when I had the chance," which is what Michael says in one of the episodes. But somebody doesn't put a quote, but they just put the
the
season, the
timestamp,
episode, and the
yeah.
timestamp of the quote. So then
A
when
lot of
people
people
go to
do
see
that
the quote,
also.
they see, I wish I had burned the place down when I had the
I
chance."
think one of mine, I had two choices. My first one was more of like a smart approach. Like it was like a Alexander Pope quote, like, and it's from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. But I love the show Californication. I don't know if you know what show that is. It's on Netflix, and one of the quotes is by like the main character Hank Moody, and he says teenage
Hmm.
girls are greatly overrated, and I don't know why I find that so funny, especially because we're in high school, and like I feel like all my life I idolized like, oh my god, I can't wait to be a teenage girl and like ugh, I always wanted to be like that and now that I've actually gone through high school, I realize we're not all that. Like all my friends, like it's all just drama at this point. So I like that quote and I think
Yeah,
that's probably what I'm gonna go with.
yeah, it's definitely a good one. I've heard that quote before. That's definitely a good one. A lot of the teenager quotes are like you hear all this great stuff about high school.
You
Really
do.
want to be
I
in high
didn't
school, but you
yeah.
get there and it's like it's just not
When I was a little kid,
not good.
that's like why people use that High School Musical quote. Like, this is nothing like High School Musical. Everybody uses that one. But I feel like it's so true because when I was a kid, all I wanted to do, like, I looked up to people in high school and I was like, life is going to be so good once I'm a high schooler. Like, I could do whatever I want. I could drive. And I got to high school
That's just not how it
and
is
it's just
though.
all these IB classes, all this work. Like, it's not fun. So, but how many IBs
Speaking
are
of
you
work,
taking?
I have SATs coming
Yeah.
up.
Do you have any IBs? Are you taking IBs?
Yeah, I'm taking IB Hoda, History of the
Really?
Americas. Yeah,
I
it's
wasn't a fan.
I
I'm
have
not a
Mr.
history
Rodahan, who I
person.
know came on the podcast last year. He's an amazing teacher. He's pretty funny, and the course is definitely rigorous, but he teaches it well.
I think I don't know. IB Hoda is a good class, but I'm just not a history person at all. I think history is but I love math. I love everything else. Science. I love taking science. I'm in AP Bio this year, which is obviously very rigorous also, but it's much better than history for me. Even though I'm taking AP Gov, but
It's
it's more
more
interesting because
yeah.
I'd rather be, um, politically aware, and it's something that I'm
Yeah,
interested in.
that's a problem in this country. A lot of teenagers just aren't politically aware.
Yeah, I've seen
A
that with
friend of mine,
myself.
I'm not gonna name, has a birthday coming up, or actually, oh, did it already happen? I missed it. I may have missed it, and I feel
Okay.
really bad. But he's turning 17 or yeah, 17. And so he'll be able to, I think, vote in the next election,
Okay.
right? So he's like, there's all this thing about Kanye gonna run and then Trump again, but he's like, I'm just not gonna vote. And I'm like, you kind of have to vote, because then when you're like 20, 22, and then you're complaining about how the government's not run correctly by the president, you can't do that, because you're the one who didn't vote and didn't choose the choice.
Yeah,
But if you vote
exactly.
and then choose for somebody, if you choose for a Democrat, if you choose for Joe Biden, for example, and Trump wins again and gets reelected, then you can say, when Trump is a terrible president, I wish Biden got elected.
But
But
otherwise, you
if you
can't
don't
say
vote,
it
then you
because,
just can't have that
yeah,
choice.
you didn't contribute to the votes. So, but yeah, I think that's interesting because, to be honest, I didn't really know about any of the people that were running for next year in the election. So I wasn't sure until they gave us an AP Gov assignment. We actually had to watch a 2 hour debate on all the
Right.
people running
Yeah,
and all the candidates. But it was pretty interesting, and everybody has their different views, obviously. And I don't know, it's an interesting thing. I just think that it's so important, especially at times like these, that people should be politically aware, which is why history classes are good, especially ones that talk about current events.
and they
Um,
always say that history repeats itself. So I always think
it
history
definitely
is
does. I think
definitely
history.
definitely something you have to learn to stop those problems that could come up in the future
Yeah,
with your
true.
country.
Alrighty, well, that was our small, short introduction. We'll probably wrap it up here. Again, comment anything you guys want to hear from us. We're
Yeah, we're
looking
open
for,
to
yeah, we're
suggestions.
open to suggestions. We have the entire school year to speak about whatever you guys want to hear. We're welcoming new members, obviously. We're always open to having more people talk about what they want to talk about. Um, and yeah, we're pretty flexible. You could talk about your interests.
And you can email Mr. Torre at torrel@northshore.schools.org,
Yep.
and to talk about new members. If you can or can't come to all the meetings, we have meetings on Mondays in J1. And if you can't come, you can email us and tell us that you want to be a part of the club and that you just couldn't come because of sports or games. We have a friend of mine who wants to come, but he's playing sports, so he can't come to the meetings. So we're really looking forward to introducing new members and getting this podcast started for the year. We are really excited.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for listening in. And we are so excited for all the podcasts to come,
All right,
for all the upcoming podcasts.
peace.